Compression ratio impacts every single combustion engine more than it could seem at the first glance. It influences power output, fuel economy, engine knocking, and most notably, thermal efficiency. It is very important whether you burn gas or diesel, use forced induction or natural breathing, and what purpose the engine serves for. This time we will do it differently and won't talk only about specific engines, but rather what is the highest compression ratio normally possible to reach within particular sectors. Gasoline engines have gone a very long way during its more than 100 years of existence. There were engines in the beginning of the last century with a compression ratio lower than 5:1, but today it is usual to see figures from 10:1 higher. Mazda's latest SKYACTIV engines reach as high as 14:1 with impressive power levels, incredible fuel economy, and ability to burn a regular pump gas. This is the highest number ever in a production car, besides the Ferrari 458 Speciale with the very same compression ratio. Turbocharged petrol engines work very similarly to the NA ones, but as there is a much higher pressure inside the cylinder, it is also more likely for engine knocking to occur. Therefore, the compression ratio is normally lower to prevent this, as it may damage the engine. Figures around 9:1 to 10:1 are normally used. For example, the 2017 Subaru WRX STi has 8.2:1, but on the contrary, the new 1.5 TSI Evo engine by Volkswagen reaches 12.5:1 and still runs a regular pump gas. An opposite example would be the Opel Corsa LPC with a turbo 1.6 liter and compression ratio of 8.8:1, which needs a premium gas. Naturally, diesel engines combust the air-fuel mixture differently. Instead of a spark, compression itself is what ignites it in the cylinder. That's why they are called compression ignition engines. The compression ratio number is therefore at least 14:1. In case of an indirect injection, it starts at 18:1. An average naturally aspirated diesel engine works with a compression ratio of 22:1, but it can climb as high as 25:1. Imagine a 25-liter cylinder compressing the mixture into 1 liter volume, the space in the head with the piston at top dead center. According to various sources, Formula 1 engines are capable of the compression ratio of 17:1, which is pretty ridiculous for a petrol engine, but these units are ridiculous anyway. Regulations for 2017 season say that the compression ratio is limited to 18:1, but I wasn't able to find such an engine, and many manufacturers do not even share such information with the public. On the other hand, old forced induction engines, such as the 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder BMW BT52, could have had 6.7:1, making 790 horsepower at 10,000 RPM. Motorcycles are often built with a proper power in mind, even with non-sporty bikes. Therefore, a high compression ratio is normally used compared to an ordinary car engine. Typically, racing engines of this kind reach the compression ratio of 14.5:1, for example the 2013 KTM Moto3 engine. Recently, Ducati unveiled a new V4 engine to replace the L-twin unit, and with 210 horsepower, it is going to have the compression ratio of 14:1 in a production bike. There was a special project by Esteco, Aprilia Racing and Gamma Technologies, which created a 250cc 17,500 rpm capable engine with a compression ratio of 15.8 to 1. The hot bulb engine is quite interesting as it can run at 2 or 4 cycles. It is also able to run backwards, and it can happen without the driver noticing anything. The head and intake normally need to be preheated and usually cannot run at compression ratio over 8 to 1 as the fuel oil in the vaporizer, which is some kind of a carburetor, would self-ignite before it should have. Normally, the compression ratio of 3 to 1 to 4 to 1 is used. Lens Bulldog's tractor use the 5 to 1 hot bulb engine. An advantage is it can run many different fuels. A disadvantage is its low compression ratio, thus low thermal efficiency. Though there was a patented hot bulb engine with a compression ratio of 18 to 1, basically using direct injection.
Up in paradise, I suppose. If you will tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again.